talking about my commission. Yes. If you ain't hear me, then stop and listen. Cause no one mind is missing when we talking about my commission. See the baddest women in the room. I got it. That money stacking to the ceiling, fool. I got it. And people watching you, watch how I move. I got it. You got it. I got it. You got it. I got it. You see the baddest women in the room. I got it. That money stacking to the ceiling, fool. I got it. And people watching you, watch how I move. I got it. You got it. I got it. You got it. I got it. Your team's only strong as your leader is. That's why my team just know I'll never leave it this. Pockets get fatter and fatter. In fact, I need it this. I'm getting money, it don't matter what the season is. And your girl love it, cause she know I be stunting. She see just how I does it. She know I ain't frontin', I got the streets buzzing. Hey, you ain't got nothing, you gotta at least come in with the need to be something, man. Listen, ambition's a part of my plan, mission, transition, cash rich and getting some more additions. That's why they tryna get me and come in my neck. Just know my team is with me and come to protect. Checking competition, checking on my position, and no one mind is missing when we talking about my commission. If you ain't hear me, then stop and listen. Cause no one mind is missing when we talking about my commission. See the baddest women in the room. I got it. That money stacking to the ceiling, fool. I got it. And people watching you, watch how I move. I got it. You got it. I got it. You got it. I got it. You see the baddest women in the room. I got it. That money stacking to the ceiling, fool. I got it. And people watching you, watch how I move. I got it. You got it. I got it. You got it. I got it.
Feel different on the spine. This is it, Tony Hawk. How I'm getting on my grind. It's all in the mind. I don't even need a sign. Come back, get applying pressure from behind. I ain't got no enemies. Turn them all to allies. Face painted, no cat eyes. Ship never been capsized. My rationale different cause I made it. No street sweeper, I just gallop off the pavement. Money made weather, yo, I came in trying to be the greatest. Not the only, but the latest. Had to keep it like the cadence. If the planet needed saving, I'll be in the conversation. It's amazing how the plan come together like a compilation. If they counting on me, then I hate to keep them waiting. Let's go. Our backs to the wall, but they counting on me. They waiting for the fall, but the parachute's free. Could be playing from behind or aggressive with the lead. You can count on me, and I promise I'm the only one you need. Let's go. Yo, the crown feel heavy when you wear it. I don't do it for acknowledgement, I guess it's just a merit. They still trying to copy me, they voices like a parrot. Staying on my shoulders and I bear it like yoga. The numbers adding up, this is calculus. Old school, so they stay counting on me like an abacus. Name is the stone, but acting like I'm not established. Miss me when I'm gone on the throne where I have to sit. Lonely like Akon, acting like I'm A1. Wishing that your neighbors knew your name like Trey Songz. You Ricans can't stay strong. Keep coming back for more, they thinking that I'm Jason. You messing with the great one. Our backs to the wall, but they counting on me. They waiting for the fall, but the parachute's free. Could be playing from behind or aggressive with the lead. You can count on me, and I promise I'm the only one you need. Is it for the fame or glory, past your limits, or you finished with the story? I wanna know what inspires you. Are your eyes filled with courage when you're challenged? Will you shine and be discouraged? I'm asking what inspires you. Can you lead and be a savior? Will you free us when you introduce the failure? I'm asking what inspires you. Go away to bad behavior, cause that thinking when I do you any favors. Yeah. Backs to the wall, but they counting on me. They waiting for the fall, but the parachute's free. Could be playing from behind or aggressive with the lead. You can count on me, and I promise I'm the only one you need. Our
Bounce. Everybody love a comeback. Gotta love a good comeback. Now you witnessing a comeback. Everybody love a comeback. Gotta love a good comeback. They say pressure bust pipes. So what's the win without a comeback? So what's the win without a comeback? Hustling every day to win. Now you witnessing a comeback. I'm not the one that you should play with. Better stick with who you came with. You ain't a thug, you a plaintiff. And I might jack dangerous. Moonwalking through a jam. Thriller slide for the bread. Watch them pray on my downfall. Hoping that they get ahead. So we don't give them no respect. It's just time to shuffle deck. Hit the body, clip the neck. Cause you know that more is less. Yes. Yes, Lord, I gotta win by any means. I'm all for it. I got a little strategy, and I won't blow it. I feel like I got Cali keys. Show me the door, cause they just want apologies and never war. So we hit them with apostrophes on they score. That's money, boy. Everybody love a comeback. Gotta love a good comeback. They say pressure bust pipes. So what's the win without a comeback? So what's the win without a comeback? Hustling every day to win. Now you witnessing a comeback. Everybody love a comeback. Gotta love a good comeback. They say pressure bust pipes. So what's the win without a comeback? So what's the win without a comeback? Hustling every day to win. Now you witnessing a comeback. Game 7 with the comeback. Second left with the comeback. Being Brian when I inspire. Real rap, that's all fact. Yeah. Tell me how you love that. Y'all middlemen, your fans. I'm trying to show them where to plug at. I'm trying to show them how to get back. Hustle up and get a kickback. That real motivation. Chill bumps when they hear that. Talking real demonstration. That Nipsey dedication. Hustling every day to win. That NEP mission statement. Never ending power. Look how I innovated. This that 10,000 hours. You get paid from your patience. Game need renovating. Hey, lucky I don't cave it. I ain't nothing to play with. Boy, I'm about to go ape shit. Everybody love a comeback. Gotta love a good comeback. They say pressure bust pipes. So what's the win without a comeback? So what's the win without a comeback? Hustling every day to win. Now you witnessing a comeback. Everybody love a comeback. Gotta love a good comeback. They say pressure bust pipes. So what's the win without a comeback? So what's the win without a comeback? Hustling every day to win. Now you witnessing a comeback.
I'm like a dog, I do the most to get off on my leash, yeah.
I am a beast, looking for something to eat, yeah. I cannot be defeated, I can take off, I don't need a reason. Anyone that see me sweating, bleeding, I'm about to take off, yeah believe it, yeah believe it. I cannot be stopped, no, no, I cannot be stopped, no, no, I cannot be stopped, no, no, I cannot be stopped, no, no. I'm like a dog, I do the most to get off on my leash, yeah. I am a beast, looking for something to eat, yeah. I cannot be defeated, I can take off, I don't need a reason. Anyone that see me sweating, bleeding, I'm about to take off, yeah believe it, yeah believe it. I cannot be stopped, no, no, 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 I cannot be stopped, no, no.
Are the doors, turn off the lights. Where I'm headed, hell might be better. Bar the doors, turn off the lights. Where I'm headed, hell might be better. Scum, dirt under my shoes. I look like winning, even lie, it was never true. If I'm no one, no one, no one. If I'm nothing, nothing. What does that make you? Lost cause, bodies lay numb. Destruction follows everywhere that you run. Lost cause, bodies lay numb. Destruction happens, but the blame is on one. Everything comes with a price. 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 Bar the doors, turn off the lights. Where I'm headed, hell might be better. Saviors all around, grab the bottle, load of six. Yeah, think how that sounds, hide it up, it's the nasty pipe. If I'm no one, no one, no one. If I'm nothing, nothing. What does that make you? Lost cause, bodies lay numb. Destruction follows everywhere that you run. Lost cause, bodies lay numb. Destruction happens, but the blame is on one. Everything comes with a price. 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 Everything comes with a price.
Yeah, you know that I got it. Yeah, you know that I got it. Yeah, all this game up in my pocket. Bet that you can't stop it. You know that I got it. Yeah, you know that I got it. Yeah, you know that I got it. Yeah, this game fits in your pocket. Guaranteed to watch it. You know that I got it.
Came through stunting with the moves you ain't never seen. Handle so dirty, jumper wet, so I keep it clean. Hand down, man down when I come through dripping. Back turn on the oop, I'ma catch him slipping.
don't look. Nades in the sky, boy, no hook. Serving up a big plate, what I just cooked. Yeah, that line got 8, pride got took. Yeah. And now you on a poster. They can't even coach you. I did it for the. I know, look, don't look. Nades in the sky, boy, no hook. Serving up a big plate, what I just cooked. Yeah, that line got 8, pride got took. Yeah. And now you on a poster. They can't even coach you. I did it for the culture. Yeah. You know that I got it. Yeah. You know that I got it. Yeah. All this game up in my pocket. Bet that you can't stop me. You know that I got it. I want it all. Fight to the finish. Handle make you fall. Go back to beginning. You never seen this. Game is the meanest. You watch on your phone now. Can't wait till they stream this. And they watch it over and over. Over and over. Reporters can't approach ya. Your teammates wanna roast ya. I did it for the culture. You know that I yeah, you know that I got it. Yeah. Reporters can't approach ya. Your teammates wanna roast ya. Did it for the culture.
You left me there with excuses, not caring about my heart's bruises. You lied about it, I allowed it for your halo. You portray yourself as a victim. I'm making notes in my system. I've been patient, but reputation is your halo. I play a part in your movie. Now you have to choose what suits me. You deserve it. Picture perfect. You did brilliant in making me the villain. I stole the evil life from you. I do the things you said I do for fulfillment and being your villain. I'll be the perfect one for you. With the exception, I won't lose. Why don't you go and play hero? Let you believe it's the hero. I was elected and I accepted. It's my game now. You don't worry about your kingdom. Overconfidence is a symptom. You won't expect what you'll get back. It's my game now. I play a part in your movie. Now you have to choose what suits me. You deserve it. Picture perfect. You did brilliant in making me the villain. I stole the evil life from you. I do the things you said I do for fulfillment and being your villain. I'll be the perfect one for you. With the exception, I won't lose. I'll come and take a look at your favorite picture book. I'll tear up the last page. No happy end for you. Oh, I won't hesitate. I've got no time to lose. I'll come and take a look at your favorite picture book. And soon you'll be just a crossed out name on my list. Cut you off and I know how just like this. I play a part in your movie. Now you have to choose what suits me. You deserve it. You did brilliant in making me the villain. I stole the evil life from you. I do the things you said I do for fulfillment and being your villain. I'll be the perfect one for you. With the exception, I won't lose. Under the city lights, thoughts in your head. So clouded waves of love, wording left unsaid. Hot embers burning up, rising in the air. Let's dance on the roof above.
The Fight of Titans, regions ready to do battle. Welcome guys to the ESL Clash of Nations. And we are on the SEA side. We're gonna start things off though with MYSG tonight. My name is Dax here, and I am with the Singaporean expert himself. Hey, I'm Quack. Dude, it's finally time. We're finally together after all these years. Yes, we worked on a few things together, but not, directly. I'm happy to be casting with you today.
Same here, man. Like it's been a while. You were there when I first started, so you know it's kind of gone full circle. It's pretty nice. I enjoy it. But today, it's all about the Singapore Malaysian teams. I don't know if I would call myself an expert, but
yeah, you are.
we've
What
got
do you
some
mean?
interesting teams today. At least for the one match that we're gonna cast.
Yeah, and I'm looking into it right now. We're gonna be getting Circus versus Bikini Bottom Prata House, and the name itself, Quack. What even is a Prata House?
I see you're diving straight into it. Okay, let's go. I mean, basically, Prata is like an Indian sort of like. I'm definitely not reading off Google, but it's a Indian flatbread dish. It's basically like this. It's got like the consistency of like tissue, and then you dip it in curry.
Okay.
Maybe add sugar if you want.
So
That's
is
the
it
thing
like
that people do
is
here.
it like naan bread or something like that?
Yeah, basically, kind of like naan bread,
Sounds
but a
delicious.
little bit different.
Oh, sounds delicious. But we're gonna be checking out how delicious this format can be, and we already have seen a little bit of the other open qualifiers. Earlier today, I believe we had the OCE side having those battles. That was a really fun matchup between Bonkers and Bobo, and they're gonna have their own playoffs. Japan, Korea gonna do the same thing, but here in SCA, it's a little bit more different because we have a lot of regions to talk about here. Quack, NYSG today, and there's IDPH, TH Vietnam, and HK Taiwan. 2 reps basically from each open qualifier to make it to the playoffs.
Yes, that's what we like in SEA. We got to mix up everything. We've got multiple countries. And the winner of today's match will actually be one of the teams that qualify for the playoffs in SEA.
Yeah, it just really reminds me of at the start of VCT back then, 2021. It was just all SEA before it became that APAC side. And here we are with our MYSG bracket. We're going to be checking out Circus versus Bikini Bottom Prata House, which is, of course, the more, I'd say, newer teams to the block, more on the unside side. X10 and Lay is going to be doing battle off stream too. And I have to say, for the 4 teams we have right now, any kind of expectations who might make it into the playoffs?
Oh, straight going into predictions already. Nice. I think, we should give a little bit of love to our Malaysian friends. Circus, they're, I think they used to be called Fatal before, and then they've added some new players now. They've rebranded to Circus, with Ascension coming up soon as well next year. Maybe they'll be able to take it, but I'm a little bit more familiar with Bikini Bottom Prata House. Still gotta love the name, but we know the players there. We can expect them to perform to a certain standard. Meanwhile, X10 Esports, Thai org, but Singaporean players, and then you've got Lays as well. Lays being the team that did beat PaperX that one time, so you kind of feel where my predictions are going towards, right?
Yeah.
It's Lays.
You're kind of teasing it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I get it, but it's just interesting because we have one matchup that really is more on the role or talent side. Like, okay, these guys are gonna form up. Maybe this can be a team moving forward, especially for Ascension next year. But on the other hand, Exton versus Lays, that's a matchup that kind of will define if they're gonna be sticking around or not. If that is really a team to watch out for moving forward. And I'd love to see who will make it to the playoffs as soon as this day ends. But we're gonna check out the lineups of our featured match for today. And here we have Circus versus Bikini Bottom Prata House. On Circus side, it's more the Malaysian team, honestly. Mickey Toggle, Pakal, Ren, and Six King, very flexible. I've seen how they've been playing their maps, and they do swap around agents and roles accordingly. But on the other side here, Quack, Bikini Bottom Prata House, Josh, Splashki, Lexi, Riza, and Kimmy. I think these guys are a bit more familiar, especially to the VCT front.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen these names before. Some of them from BCG, some of them from Bleed, and it's we know how they perform, and they have those fixed roles. They're very comfortable with it, so you can expect them to specialize in that fact. Circus, on the other hand, I think it's more. It depends on the map for them, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and I look at some of their different lineups from time to time. Sometimes this guy's playing the controller, sometimes it's the other one because they're playing the Astra, and maybe that flexibility can be a factor. But let's check out the maps that these guys are going to be playing on. And immediately here in our best of 3, we're going to get Breeze, Pearl, as well as Bind. Any thoughts, though, for this map pool here, Quack?
What's interesting is if you take a look at the brackets and the games that have led us to this point, is that Circus has only played Haven and Ascent. The fact that they chose Breeze right off the bat is pretty interesting, but that's probably because Haven and Ascent were banned as well. So it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for them, perhaps. And if they can perform on Breeze, then great. If not, dude, Bikini Bottom Prada House might actually be able to take this home 2-0.
Yeah, there's a possibility because on the other side, Bikini Bottom Prada House, they have played Breeze a lot. They don't care that, okay, that's your map pick, sure, but we're ready for it. And then you move into Pearl, there is a bit more of, I'd say, familiarity right now based on the qualifiers alone for Bikini Bottom Prada House.
It's that's what you got to look out for. They're a little bit more comfortable with it, and that's why map vetoes are so crucial. They planned this out perfectly, and it comes down to the wire. If Circus can actually perform, you know, adequately well on Breeze, they might be able to stand a chance, and that's what we want to see. But if not, Bikini Bottom Prada House gets to have their way with how they want to play this. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, just we're watching out for how Circus especially is going to adjust, and there we have it. We're getting into Breeze. Agents are already afoot. And immediately, you see, we had a bit more of the role discussion there for Bikini Bottom Prada House, and immediately you get the roles that we're talking about. Kimmy gonna be on that Jet. We've seen him just impress on that duelist role. Absolute classic. But here on the other side, this is where there is that variance. It's 6 King on the Chamber. So when they're not running like a Sentinel like Killjoy, he goes on that Chamber role. Toggle is the one usually on that Duelist as per usual, and Ren's the one playing the Viper this time around.
Yeah, so that's the thing about Circus. They're a bit of a wild card. We haven't seen that much of them, and they have all these different roles. Of course, still an optimized composition for the map itself. What's interesting is on the other side, it's that same classic lineup that we always see in VCT, right? With Bikini Bottom Prada House, maybe different teams and they've come in together, but we have seen Kimmy on his Jet before. We know how crazy he can get. We have seen Splashkey on the Chamber before. So we've got some duels coming in between the two teams.
And I'm honestly excited to see Lexi back into the field. I heard, there's NS afoot and whatnot, but if he finds time to play, then he can absolutely slay. Having that lead background might be one of the stars to really watch out for. And based on his performance in the qualifiers alone, he has been impressing on a map like Breeze. So this can just be a little bit more of that continuity as we get into the game. But the classic lineup, as you said, for BBP, Circus, their usual initiator player on the controller. And here we now get into the game. Mid, 5-4 by Bikini Bottom Prada House. Toggle gonna be going for the early aggress, and let's see how this is gonna work out for him. A few shots, Rizza goes down.
He already tailwinds away. That's so much value. It actually sends Bikini Bottom to the other part of the map, which is nearing towards Elbow, towards B side, and they still have that information to work with.
Oh, Lexi with a little flash now as they try to play the entry towards that B side. Kimmy dashing on forward, and they're putting the pressure on 6 King, but Toggle still inside the tunnel, and that's 2 already. Looking for crazy. Lexi gonna be facing off as much as possible towards main. And it's 4v1 now. The execute here for Bikini Bottom Prada House just falling apart at the seams. All left now to the Chamber, finds a target, but he's getting watched out for. Left and right, gets the takedowns. Now, he can make do with a 1v2. A possibility, yes, for the Chamber. It's going to be difficult, though, because of the crossfire setup being made by Circus. Left and right, it's so hard to choose, man. And choices are forced out by Circus to get the round.
Came close, but when it happened, that one little sidestep coming in from the KO play of Circus, just hiding towards arches made it that much more difficult to win out in that crossfire. And this all happens because, you have that proactiveness coming in from, was it Toggle? No, it was the Jet player right off the bat, pushing down middle like that. They got the first pick, and they got information off of the game.
It kind of ruined their start, basically. They had a plan to play that mid to B. They had a plan to throw out that flash to allow a quick entry. But an early aggress, you can rely on those kind of situations to help you out, to put a big wrench in the plans of the attacking side. So some great versatility, I have to say, showed by Circus already. Let's see now. They have the gun advantage, and they should be able to hold down B site again.
Oh. Waiting for the toxic screen is the name of the game for now. But they're just dashing in with the pistols, trying to get up close and personal. Ren's still able to hold it down, though, and flicking the heads, getting a third one before getting taken out by Lexi. Tries to get the spike planted, but that one shot from Toggle ends his life. Josh, with the Sheriff, makes it a trade. but not before Trade comes back into the game. 2-0, perfect start so far for Circus.
Circus taking that 2-0. I am a little surprised though that they lost a lot more than expected. It looked good with Ren holding it down towards B, taking cover as much as possible. A stellar share shot though, as soon as Bikini Bomb Brat House did come in that way, and some economic damage done on the team that's a little bit behind right now. So this time, they should have the guns, and a map like Breeze, I have to say the rifle advantage is a lot more apparent compared to anything else that we have in the map pool.
You got long sight lines, and those are things that you want to exploit, but that's why having the Sheriff, the Marshal, is still a viable tool. And I think that's what we want to see from Circus. That's why they're holding these angles. They're waiting for the push to come in.
You know, Circus.
Oh.
Ooh, that was dangerous, but the Cloudburst to keep cover. Sure, Kimmy crossing. Dude, it's a red light for the pedestrian, but hey, whatever. We'll see how he can make it work. You said so yourself. Spectre close range. It's gonna be Pakal already taking down Splashkey, and this time Danger close. Fragment is there for the distraction, and Toggle tries to get all the way, but no, he engages one more time. Decides to fight Lexi though with the wall bangs. It's still inflicting damage though here to BBP, and it's up to Josh to open things up towards A.
He definitely did do his job. The child's still able to pop off though, despite swapping over to a Phantom now. Actually, that's even better. Does get a little bit more information onto his Josh. Sends out a recon too. Josh has to make his move, but doing so might just leave his back exposed towards mid doors. He spots the head. He will get it.
1v1 now, and spotting, and gotting him. There you go, Josh with the clutch. Will finally give Bikini Bomb Brat House the round win and the score on the board. It was a great sneaky play, man. He just crouched down under cover, got close enough to get the sight lines on, and in a site like A, if you know where your opponents can come from, you can actually find those isolation duels to help you out in a pinch.
Yeah. And that's really what he did, you know, getting those isolated duels. You can see that what Circus were trying to go for is that Josh to let time, he could have rotated back, so Ren wanted to check mid, but doing that kind of left his teammate alone, and that was the issue. Coming back in the next round now, though, we have an operator in the hands of the Chamber player on Circus' side.
Yeah, Six King, he's ready for this, and Splashkey gonna be walking straight into his crosshairs. It does feel like we're, so far for the past few rounds, Circus, if it's a bit more on the calm side, they can actually get these pickoffs, and it's up really to Bikini Bomb Brat House to cause chaos, to get towards these sites and allow the closer encounters to go in their favor. Toggle though, the hold is perfect against Josh, but Rizza with the trade. There we have the null command into play. Kimmy comes in close versus Six King, and this is what I'm talking about. If Bikini Bomb Brat House can actually get towards the site, they have a better chance in these rounds.
That's how they want to approach it too. Multiple entrances, and now that leaves Pachal and Ren. The same two players from that previous situation in the last round, and they're coming in from extreme opposites. One from Cave, one from Bridge. This might just be able to work if they can get the opening picks to go along with it, but no, Pachal falls. It's all up to Ren. He's managed to create a little bit of space for himself, sends out the snake bites too just to flush him out of position, but I don't think he has any time left at this point, Dax.
Yeah, even his entryways are blocked by his own snake bites. No peeks whatsoever from Kimmy and Rizza. Some great discipline from Bikini Bomb Brat House. As soon as they put that spike down, you know it's all over. And yet again, the attacking side getting the round. These site takes are just so paramount for BBP, and it usually is because of the space made by Kimmy and how Lexi decides to use those utilities to play entry alongside him.
I mean, that flashpoint is something that helps so much, and they have that combo, that synergy together, right? You can send out a flashpoint, you can have the tailwind go in along with a cloudburst as well, and just like that, you actually make a lot of space for the entire team. And combine that with presence towards halls, it kind of confuses Team Circus for a little bit. This time around, though, back to that mid presence, they're trying to aggress coming in from mid doors, and that takes Kimmy away.
Toggle does it yet again. That mid-aggress is something Circus can rely on, but Lexi finds Six King in response, and now forces BBP to play a little bit more on default side instead. They know they can't utilize that mid as efficiently as they want to, so now they have to look towards these sites as much as possible. Splashkey watching out for any usual angles towards A. Most of the team, though, can't go for B site if ever.
At the very least, they're going to explore it. Only one Viper, Ren, to anchor down the site. The rest of them still going on an adventure towards the middle. I think they know that it's going to be a B hit, but the question is, will Splashke's Lurk actually catch them?
Splashke though is a little too far off right now. He's looking for someone at A, but instead the Hunter's Fury from Pakal to slow down the push. Toggle gonna be using that to run towards that B side also. And this time, as soon as they realize, okay, the Chamber's gotten into A, we can actually rotate, have that time. But Mickey finds Lexi, so the numbers dwindling here for Bikini Bottom Prata House. They had a good chance though. They had a good plan B here. Quack, but can they make do?
It's a very smart mid-round adaptation. It all comes down to the positioning and timing, expecting when Circus actually appears, and Splashke will be able to find one, rendezvous away, might be able to get a little bit more value as well. The knives have been spent. Toggle has to peek in. There's the second one. Doesn't get the third. But still, that is enough time bought for his teammates.
Enormous damage done. And it really allows Splashke to make an impact before he falls 2v2 right now. Josh already sending up for the Viper spit, and Mickey just walks into that one. It's Ren versus the world. Might be able to get a second, but no, he's not close enough, not in those sight lines. Rizza will finalize the round here for BBP, and you mentioned it, the mid-round adaptation. They didn't force that B side. They did lose a member, sure, but it doesn't matter. As soon as Splashke said, guys, it's free, and they took the round that way.
And that's just smart. Like, I don't know who the IGL is, but they must be thinking, all right, they keep going for this mid play. Kimmy's gone. Toggle keeps pushing us. They probably think we're gonna head towards B. Let's sell that and go towards A instead. And it's beautiful.
Sometimes it's all about those calls. It's not just about trying to play those entries. And this time around, the up in hand for 6 King, but I hear a tour de force brought out by the opposite chamber. So perhaps a pickoff for 2 early on into the round from long range going to be essential for these two teams. Blade Storm also out. Bikini Bomb Prata House, they have been winning these rounds here, Quack, but it has been costly. So you can see they have to commit on the ultimates this time around. Kimmy, though, trying to play the entry, realizes the timing isn't as perfect as he wanted with the flash drive, and will retreat for now.
He did manage to blind Toggle, I think, though, for a second. Just getting a little bit more information now. They are informed that there is quite the stack holding down the A site. And the operator, too, is just such a looming presence that BBP has to be careful about it.
And because of
Instead, they're still going to execute in, though.
Yeah, the trademark got broken, and this time 6 King tried to re-peek, but it's Splashke with the takedown, expecting him to come. Toggle on the opposite end of the wall. There we have the fragment barely hitting him as soon as he tries to put that spike down, and Toggle decides to go on in to get that takedown. Rizza on the board, but Toggle with 2. Splashke yet again finding another target. Up in hand for Kimmy this time around. Thank you very much for the 5-finger discount. And here comes Kimmy up in the air, and this is another round for Bikini Bottom Prata House.
5-finger discount, 5 blades, but only 1 was needed to delete that last player, putting BBP up ahead with a 4-round win streak. I don't think they've lost a single one since the second round.
Yep.
And this is absolutely nuts. I mean, this is what we love to see from Kimmy, and this is what we expect him to do when he's online. On the other hand, though, Toggle has been doing an exceptional job as the Jet player, getting so many kills. I mean, remember, this guy was the sub-in for Avium during the second stage of VCT SGMY, and he was still able to provide that much value despite being a sub.
That's the thing, right? Even though Circus isn't as, I'd say, well-known to some of the players here at Bikini Bomb Prata House, these guys have that VCT experience. They were part of that group stage recently, and they know that they can play, but Splashke gonna be watching out. Oh, that was so close. The call is just right there behind the wall. And Lexi might have an idea. Gets the detection. Now he knows that the Sova is here. But will he know there are more targets? They line up for him. And Toggle, they rhyme and they die together. Mickey will find Lexi in response. Ren also on the board. So these sheriffs hitting the mark. But at the very end, it's just that disparity playing into the hands of Bikini Bomb Prata House. They make it to the site and they make it another round here.
I mean, you have to admire what Team Circus are trying to do. They're trying to travel across the map. They're trying to get proactive, pushing in towards BBP, especially making use of, you know, the toxic screen, going past, using elbow, trying to catch them behind. It's good, but it's still not good enough because BBP are working together as a team, and especially when you got someone like Lexi who's smart enough to check it with his experience from Bleed. He's able to take out 2. Sure, he lost to Mika, but at that point, damage was done. So, is this going to be that timeout called by their coach, Circus Ocelot?
Wow. Dude, it's amazing to see a squad that isn't even signed to have a coach. You have that extra support, then you guys can actually make a number of adjustments, but might not be available to you. And I think that's the thing right now. Circus, I love the Moxie. You mentioned that these guys are being creative, that these guys are playing the aggression, but as these rounds go on, it feels like Bikini Bottom Prata House is expecting it more and more. They know the willingness of the Jet to go in. They know they didn't really have much to lose, so they could just go for those flanks. And with Toggle especially showing a lot of mid presence, it has just become Bikini Bottom Prata House watching out for any access point from that middle area. Lexi usually on it, Splashky also, who has been expecting some of these angles to really a good prediction rate. That's what has allowed Bikini Bottom Prata House to make these mid-round adjustments and to get these following rounds.
Wow. And talking about adjustments, look at that. Lexi knew to send his knife towards mid doors this time, and it actually caught Pachal Poggle. So that effectively blocks it off. And now they have a little bit more freedom going in towards middle. If they can take Pachal down as well towards the top of middle, that'll be even better. But Toggle is trying to deny that right now, pushing out. Rizza gets that duel, and Kimmy as well, though. Effectively, 2 players just gone like
surprise!
that.
But Mickey, he still wants to fight.
He's too low.
Oh, dude, 3rd time's the charm for the pick, but it's still 4v2, and it's up to 6 King now to try and hold things down. The op gets 1, but he has to disengage with the rendezvous as Bikini Bottom Prata House has closed the distance. They're hugging that wall, though. Some great angles called for by BBP. But can they finish up the round? 6 King still behind the broken wall. Spikes planted. Does he find the target? Kimmy's right there. They just can't hold it down. Ren instead spots out Josh. It's getting so close between these 2 teams right now, Quap.
Dude, he sends out the toxic screen in nick of time.
How'd he get in this
actually
deep?
kind of blocks it off. Oh, what?
These guys are playing some MGS. They're just so sneaky peeky. Like, 6 King has found the path to get onto the center of the site. And in the end, it was BBP catching out the alert and catching out the targets. But this is just such an interesting call from Circus. And I would have loved it if they didn't lose 2 members at the start. That, okay, there's a 3rd peeker, there's another repeak. Upon the repeak, you get the repeakception. But since we're getting BBP to anticipate it, right? Kimmy's position was perfect. Riz's position was ready for tunnel, and those kind of adjustments, that kind of understanding from BBP has allowed them to run away with the rounds until you run into the tour de force of 6 King.
And all of a sudden, they have to respect that. But Splashky doesn't care! He knows where he's going to reposition. He knows where he's going to peek back. So he just holds up over by the window. Toggle now. Here's them dashing in. Swaps to the classic. Gets the playstorm. Tries to do a little bit of work with it, but unfortunately gets taken out. Then Kimmy has made this site his home. He's just waiting for the repeaks. He knows where they're going to come out from, but the Bulldog's presence has been known. And all that's left is going to be last player, Ren, with nothing but a sheriff. Dude, what are you going to do?
I mean, Circus has done a lot with even the lesser buy. It has been BBP all the way for the past 6 rounds, yes. But at the same time, have you seen any of these rounds extremely convincing with so many members of BBP still alive? It's always economical damage, but almost is not enough for that scoreline. And there you go, Kimmy with a 3rd, and it's 7-2 now for BBP. Their attacking side has just made waves. We're seeing them make it towards the site, understand again the position of Circus time and time, and they have built a bit of a bank because of the big win streak that they've had. Yes, I did mention that Circus has made sure that there are always casualties, but at the very end, BBP know how to save him, know how to hold down the objective when they get that spike down, and it's been a big reason why that they have had this run.
And remember what we said, like, before even getting into the game. Like, this is Breeze. This is a map that BBP, Bikini Bottom Prata House, are super comfortable with. So if Circus doesn't start winning some rounds, this could be trouble.
Interesting enough, it has been close games. They have lost a map of Reese already for BBP against, I believe, it was Team Pat. It was a close margin,
Yeah.
11-13, but they did win their second outing against Nomen, and that was 13-8 instead, or their first outing rather. So a bit of that experience, a few adjustments, thanks to that experience for BBP. Circus, though, they have to prove that they can keep up with a team like BBP, and Toggle is doing so right now. First piece of evidence with that pickoff. Second one presents its case, and it's 6 King with a takedown too.
After a hit like that, I think you don't really want to go back in towards the B side, but they're thinking about it. 2 Cloud Burst and a Tailwind already spent just to create a little bit more space. 6 King re-peaks though, and he's able to take them all out. Splashkey's the only one left.
That was no fear from 6 King. He just took that suppress like a
30
man,
seconds left.
and he decided, okay, I can still get this takedown, expecting Kimmy to close that distance and read him like a book in that round. Splashkey, though, breaking the trademark, and Poggle will break his face in response. Finally, Circus able to break the streak of BBP, and I think that's the answer that they have to do. If they get that early pickoff with something like the Operator, they can reposition for that second hit that BBP loves to do.
That's right, and that's exactly how they read this. That's exactly why we see a player like Toggle actually holding this position, watching the angle towards tunnel outside of middle. It's not a very common position to hold, but the only reason why he did that is because he expected BBP to do something like this. So there's a bit of a back and forth going between 2 teams right now. And just as we say it, BBP, they cooked up a new plan, Dax.
All about that B side, and we get the null command. Circus, though, expecting the hard hit, and you can see 6 King, he's just all the way by tunnel instead. Wants to make that op count. It is interesting that they're giving it up, but I think they want to play that range as much as possible. Go for the retake. Let's see if this works out for them, Quack.
I mean, look at BBB's positioning as well. They know they have the site for free, and that's why they're holding these different angles. Coming in from Cannon, that's so not common, and he's still able to get 2 because of it. 6th King now trying to get value out of that Operator, but no, Josh just denies it outright. The last 2 coming in from Archers now, and it's all too clear. Kimi knows exactly where to look. Pachal, what are you gonna do? Making use of this one wall, he can hear the footsteps coming in. He takes Kimmy away, but Splashkey with the hit hunter punctures through his torso.
Look, I kind of get what
Last
Circus
round
trying to
in
do.
the
They know
half.
the null command is coming, and I gave them the benefit of the doubts. But I doubt you can actually play a retake like that versus BBP. These guys are expecting those off angles. You mentioned it, Cannon being held by Josh, and he knew that a team like Circus would come in from their spawn, would use that middle as much as possible to try and go for those multiple angles. And BBP, if they see a site for free, they're gonna take it by pretty easily.
100%, and that's the experience coming in for BBP. They know which angles to hold. Circus, on the other hand, you see the firepower that they have. They actually have that potential to pull this off. It's just a question of being able to read, and they did it right that one round. This time they're playing it safe towards A, and this just might work considering how BBP are positioned right now.
Well, Bikini Bomb Pratt House, they have a commanding lead so far, and they can make it 6 if they finish it with another win. Circus, though, they have shown some adjustments, at least to find the answers. But can they hold things down one last time? Toggle, though, over onto the pyramids. Knows Lexi is coming. There's the dart, too. And doesn't get the scan. Oh, there's the presence detected. Flash to get on away. Toggle right there into the corner. But Lexi cannot find that takedown because Ren is covering the back of his teammate. But here comes Josh one more time. Slithering in like the Viper he is. Mickey going for that mid. Splashy trying to watch out for his teammate. But it's Rizza who wins the duel anyway. And onto the B side. That's Kimmy already. Splashy, though, shows the chamber how it's done. The headhunter to get the takedown. Toggle, low
30
HP,
seconds
still
left.
gets a kill anyway. But this B site is where BBP will make their stand.
Yeah, this is the pineapple under the sea, the B site. They've been going to this one site so many rounds now, and Toggle wants to aggress from B main, but he has to be so careful, especially when you're considering that there is a player, Rizza, coming in from mid. Unfortunately, goes underneath Ren's nose, and that's where he gets taken out. Kimmy able to delete Toggle. Back onto 1-on-2, but unfortunately the sight lines are just too hard to challenge, especially when you have Splashkey and his Tour de
Switching
Force.
sides.
Well, Splashkey making a splash all throughout. You remember how he played towards that A site a few rounds prior, and this time around over at B. If you see the chamber lead the way, you already know that this site is yours for the taking. And come on, Quack, 9-3. Do you believe in the curse, or does Bikini Bomb Prata House show us how to really play Breeze?
You know, I kind of want to believe in the curse just so that we could see a little bit more from Team Circus right now, but it comes down to this pistol. If BBP actually loses this, I feel like, yeah, maybe Circus can get some rounds, but just by how BBP has been playing so far, especially with how smart they've been with the rotations, with the fakes on the attacking side, they must be pretty strong on defense as well. Look at how they're pushing down elbow.
Yeah, BBP has been strong on anticipation and expectation, knowing where these opponents will come from, getting that right intel as soon as possible with double initiator.
Oh.
And here you go now, Rendo catching out Josh. He just walks into that snake fight. Lexi trying to go for the hold, and Circus, they're looking to prove that they can fight here on the pistol. But Splashy, his headhunter was crucial last round. This time around, Mickey will find the answer, and it's all up to Kimmy in a 1v3. Gets the first, looks for a second, but can't get it as Mickey will decide to peek after the demise of his teammates. 4-9, Circus winning a round much needed.
That was close, but this is Circus. Okay, that's nice to see because they are able to go in fast. They are able to go in from multiple angles, and sometimes that's something that overwhelms BBP. If they can't catch up to this, you know, Dax, the curse just might actually be something that you just invoked.
Oh, no, dude. It's I mentioned it, so it might actually happen. Can't do me like this. It's not my fault, Quack. It's not my fault.
You're the one who brought it up.
Okay, but to be fair, Circus have been aggressive on defense, right? So now that they're on the attacking side, it might actually suit them better and show us why they picked this map in the first place, knowing that BBP has been playing this all throughout the qualifiers. But Lexi is there over on the staircase. The distraction play from BBP.
What?
Circus has to fight their way out of this one, and 16 and Ren are the ones doing so for now. But the angle is just so heavily concentrated by BBP. They're going to be holding now over onto the container. Toggle, the call himself, deciding to get that intel as the spike is planted. And a flank perhaps even from Kimmy. So Six King, he has to watch over that cave as much as possible, and he's thinking about it. He only has to go so, and he's so low on the HP. So there's a chance for Kimmy to actually win this if ever. Lexi gets to take down off the red. This is becoming absolutely dangerous for Circus, and BBP showing us how it's done. Here they come yet again. They live on this A site, man. This is what they call home, and they take the round through a thrifty mean against Circus.
That's it. That's the whole game right there.
That was
How
the
do you
round.
come back from that?
The round that
You
broke
had that
Circus's
round.
back.
Exactly. And you know, you could see the idea that they were going for to push in from middle to gain space over cave as well. But Spectre holding that angle, you heard the dash. They just couldn't find the hit. Josh was making use of those obstacles so well that the flashes, the support coming in from Rizza, from Lexi, it all helped out. And the Classic was just able to take out the two Spectre players.
It was just a distraction, and he was just the biggest bait to really attract the opposition. I also was very concerned about Six King being the one to hold down Cave. He was low on HP, and he only had the ghost. Even a body shot from Kimmy would have led to his demise. But hey, we're here at mid, and Circus, they have been loving these mid contests for quite a while. Toggle keeping an eye out also, but there's at such a disadvantage here, Quack.
It's not going to be easy, especially considering the economy right now. And you don't have much. Six King and the rest of the gang, they just have to go in by brute force, and Josh is doing whatever he can to hold down this site. With the Vandal now, he's able to get the first burst, sprays over onto the next, support from Rizza as well. And at this point, Circus are nothing but trapped towards B main. So 11-4. Tax, this is... comes down to this round.
I thought we were gonna get tickets to the Circus show, but it's BBP providing us a spectacle. It's just the amount of support the mostly SG side team has right now, with the amount of intel they get from the Sova as well as the KO together. They're just able to anticipate immensely where Circus is gonna come from, and that was just the best example. Just a single dart, And then the peaks come in from the likes of, I'd say, Josh as well as Riza. That's all you need, especially in a gun in a round where you have that gun advantage. It has been the bread and butter of BBP, getting that intel, figuring out where their opponents are coming from and where they're absolutely positioned, and they just know how to execute those kind of plays so well.
That's all it is, right? It's like Mr. Krabs down into Krusty Krab, and he can smell the money. That's the intel. He can smell it coming, and once that is there, they know how to react off of it. They start cooking up the patties, you know, frying up the grill.
So
instead
of money, where Risaka's is like, money. It's like, intel.
Intel, yeah.
Intel. And it's really the biggest case. Sure, Riza and Lexi are technically bot fragging, but look how close the kills are, and look how much impact they've had all throughout the game. So many of these plays enabled by the initiators, and Bikini Bomb Prata House in the lead like this for good reason.
The assist as well. And now, I mean, this is what, round 4 in the second half, you already have Viper's Pit up, and it just blocks off so much. If you were Team Circus, you really need to look for another approach. And if you can't win this round, I don't know how your economy is going to look on the next. It's going to be match point. It's going to be tough. That's why they had the timeout being called by their coach too.
Absolute must-win situation for Circus. If they want to stand a chance, they need to keep these guns for the next round too. And they're going to go to the path that might have the most resistance, as Josh is waiting to set a tall against the opposition. There you go. Already Ren goes down. Six King finds Kimmy in response, so this might be an open doors B-side, but Splashkey is still there, and Splashkey yet again fending off the competition. No entry for Six King all the way. Really, there always is a blood toll here for the side of Circus, and they decide to rotate from mid to A this time around, so they get past the Viper's Pit. At least that's the call. Toggle decided to climb up that staircase with the uptrap, but Lexi has another plan over onto the bridge. He's trying to go for the contest. Toggle fighting him back, and this is so dangerous. Mickey is so close, and Josh is waiting for him yet again. One more time, truly a third eye here for Josh. He's just predicting where these opponents will come from. Splashkey also on the board, and this is looking pretty simple yet again for Bikini Bomb Prata House. Josh with 3, and it's another round, match point even for Bikini Bottom.
Just way too overwhelming. Josh, that one hit, he truly was the Viper, the snake in the grass for his team in that round. Just making use of that, getting the first kill. I mean, it was a little bit of a mistake for Circus to even think about challenging that. And he got a free Vandal as a result of it. He pushed all the way into Cave as well, getting that extra information. And that one angle coming in from Cave gave his team so much support. Sure, Lexi wasn't able to get a kill, but he was able to play off of that contact. He was able to peek in and out of it. And if you were Toggle in that point, he might be the top fragger team. He might be doing so much, but there's no way he can flick 180 back and forth.
It's just so hard. Turn around. You don't have eyes at the back of your head, and you don't have a gun pointing that way too. I just have to say, Circus, they have been trimmed time after time. They can't play any of the other off angles because their numbers dwindled in that last round. And then we get a trade here to what can be the last if ever. But Toggle, he wants to fight, and he wants to use that operator to help them out. The Viper's Pit gonna be into play too, as they do get the plants. It'll be a difficult situation for Bikini Bomb Prata House. They're gonna come in from Arches if ever. But Toggle, look at his position. He's watching out for that midpoint. Might be able to see Josh coming, and there you go. Catches the Viper off guard.
What a play as well. And this was all planned. The Viper's Pit, such a big obstacle for PvP to solve. And Kimmy with the movement just makes it look like he's fading away and dashes straight into the Cloudburst. Gets a hit line, but not quite the frag. It's going to be all up to Riza. Recon into it. He kind of knows they're on the other side, but cannot do all that much because of that operator from Toggle.
I love how Toggle used that Viper Spit in so many of those angles. To watch out through a tunnel, over onto top mid, basically. To watch out for who may come from main. And just that extra split second that he's able to buy, thanks to the Viper Spit obstruction. It really just allowed him to make that operator count. You can really see Circus here in the semifinals for good reason, here to try and qualify for good reason, but it's such an uphill battle. They survive for now, but can they keep it clean for the next few rounds?
we have to respect it. You know, it was an all or nothing play, and it worked. If they can continue to pull off that magic, yeah, they just might be able to turn things around. Still, they got to be careful. Splashkey's still around the corner, and Six King is gone.
Splashkey, that operator has been absolutely wonderful for Bikini Bomb Pratt House, but here comes Ren. He's just waiting, watching, sees Kimmy coming, and that will be the first takedown here for the Viper. Spike though not still there, and Ren eventually gets taken down by Alexi. He knows how to play that angle. How many times have we seen BBP use that toggle though, finding Rizza up right now? Is primed and ready yet again, 3v2, but here we go with the snake bite. Toggle doesn't care though, center of mass. Lexi now deactivated. But can he actually get rezzed on up? There's still some time here for the res. There is some time for the rotate if ever. Toggle is just trying to play gatekeeper right now here, Quack.
Yikes.
Gatekeeper and the goalkeeper, he's just blocking off so much and equalized the board for Team Circus. We're back to a 2-on-2. Even bought enough time for his teammate Pachala just to come in to get the spike planted. Well, they have the timing.
They have the timing, and they see him coming, but he couldn't hit the shot. As Splashkey hops around like a bunny to avoid what may come from the op. And Splashkey instead showing us how to use that operator one more time. Toggle though, Pachala puts himself in a 1v1 situation. Still doable here for Circus. But Josh, he's been clutch so far. He has the darts to utilize. He can get that until his time is running on out. Josh is waiting, but Pekal is even better. A clutch there at the end. And Circus one more time. They were on the ropes, but they're still fighting in these rounds.
I mean, this is how you want to play that tightrope act. This is how you want to come into the round. You've got the entry coming in from Cave. You've got that presence with the operator all the way deep into halls. It's something that sends shivers down your spine if you're on BBP's side, because you know that Toggle's watching those angles. Yeah, I want to pick Lexi up. He was hit by that null command, but I can't. And I can't even rotate because I don't know how.
There was just so much pressure. And even though he wasn't watching the KO per se, just that whole threat, right? That assessment, that's the operator. If you line up for it, it's another easy shot and another easy pick. So still, instilling fear. One of the biggest strengths Circus can do right now. Toggle is quite the mad lad with his aggression, and even with the operator, he has been effective. This time around though, it's rifles bound. Six King is the one with a sniper rifle here. The tour de force. Getting ready to play the long angle, but this is interesting. You have Kimmy there on the left side. Josh playing far away instead. The null command gonna be the call. Hunter's Fury gonna be the answer though. And Toggle decides to get on it and find Josh. Kimmy still trying to go for the hold. It's 2 for 2 in terms of the trades right now. Can they pick up the KO in time? They're looking for it, and Six King is looking towards the middle as well to catch out Rizza. So it's a big advantage now for Circus. They have the numbers, and they're racking up the rounds here, Quack. It should be another round for them. Splashkey versus the world. But this is just too much pressure, way too many targets, and not enough time. First kill though on the Mickey. Wait, there's still a chance. Splashkey with a second. Perhaps it can be lifted up here to the high heavens by Splashkey. One more time, one more pickup. He's looking for the guy here on the side, but Toggle will deny him of that glory. 7-12 now. Circus has been on a roll.
This is one way to bring things back. The sudden wins and a sudden boost in morale. Herculean effort coming in from Splashkey, sure, but as soon as he started pushing towards the back of that wall, Toggle heard the footsteps and knew exactly when and how to peek. That was a pre-fired shot.
It's expected coming, and it's so close with some of these rounds. It's been the way of the game so far here, Quack, that, okay, these rounds are getting as close as possible. These rounds are, okay, we're getting these kind of pickoffs. And it's what makes this whole matchup exciting. Circus, though, they can't afford to make some big mistakes here. They can't afford to give up a round anymore because of the scoreline. Bikini Bomb Pratt House, they know that. They just can't find a way to finish the job off right now.
Might be a little bit broke, too. Toxic screen and everything, but the 0 point just cancels it outright. And now Josh has been located. Toggle, he's going in for the tear. He updrafts a tailwinds forward, but Kimmy wins the duel. The Blade Storm, it works out.
Kimmy shows us how it's done with those knives. Throws the gun away too as he's looking to make that Blade Storm count. Good intel. Splashkey spotted already. Here we go yet again. Toggle to provide as much as the utility can do so. And here they come for BBP. Getting closer, looking to bridge that gap. 6 King of Toggle. Well, it's the whole shebang and the whole crew of Circus finishing the job off. It has been Circus just racking up these rounds. And I have to say, Toggle is one of the biggest reasons why. He's absolutely turned it on for the past 4 rounds, and I don't think Circus has any signs of them stopping so far.
Not yet. I mean, not unless this timeout can do anything. Called out by Rizza because BBP does not have a coach, but that's their whole game plan, right, Team Circus? You just send Toggle in hyper aggressively towards the back of the site to create that much space, that much distance between him and the opposing team. So Bikini Bottom at that point, they have to divert all their attention towards dealing with this one player. And in all that time, the rest of the squad from Circus just sets up. They get the spike planted, they hold it down, they're positioned towards cave. Kimmy tried to go in with a jump peek. The rest of the squad tried to close in the gap, close in the distance, but they couldn't because 4 guns are all lined up just to deal with that.
Circus has shown here on the tap especially that, well, they're a lot more adjusted, that it suits them a lot better, and we've seen their fangs bared a while ago in the first half. This time, they're just sinking onto the necks of Bikini Bottom Brat House time and time again. Still a chance here for a fight. Still a chance for overtime after how things are going. But thanks to that timeout, Bikini Bottom Brat House to get a bit of a reset. And I believe right now, they're going to be looking to go for basically a vie for a middle, but on the safer angle. You can see Lexi as well as Kimmy are anticipating perhaps a push towards doors. They leave the chamber alone on B site, if ever, to try and hold things down, perhaps for even long range. But Pikal already scouting, trying to check out if anyone is here in mid. You get the rotate from Rizza, so a bit of reinforcements for BBP. You can see that for them, it's a bit more on the safer side this time around. They want to adjust accordingly and anticipate the initial push rather than go for those later rotations.
I don't know how much they can actually find, though. The recon drone was good, but look at how much Bikini Bottom Prada House have switched it up now. They're doing nothing but playing defensively. They're just hiding inside of corners, waiting for a single sound. Splash kick. Heard it, dropped off, and now he's getting punished for it.
Toggle does it yet again. When someone decides to take those steps, a little bit too much of antsiness perhaps for Splashkey as he moved into position, into the sightlines really of Toggle. That will be the round. BBP will not contest it.
No.
Circus has just been absolutely efficient on the entry, man.
Yeah, Dax. I mean, they played it slow, a sudden burst this time, and Splashkey had no idea what hit him. He lost an operator because of it. That cost an arm and a limb, an arm and a leg, excuse me.
You know how much an arm costs in the first place? I think it's more than the op, dude.
Probably, but you know, let's say an arm's like 2,000 and then the leg's 2,700.
You should get another limb dealer. your prices are kind of whack.
Valorant credits don't really, you know, like transfer to real life dollars.
I wonder what's the conversion rate, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It's a hefty loss.
Exactly.
Maybe it's on discount, you know?
Yeah, I need a new dealer. Can you hook me up?
Oh, don't worry. I know a lot of them.
Because I got lots of arms and legs to sell, man.
Oh, dude. I'm peddling some cabbages over here. You're peddling some limbs, but hey.
Cabbages.
Yeah, my cabbages.
My cabbages.
Okay, we're getting off topic here. It's true though, dude.
It's been match point for the longest time.
It's been the longest time. I've been ready to say BBP wins, but Circus, they've proven that they're still in this fight, that they want to take this dub if they can make it to overtime. And you mentioned it, the operator, such a hefty loss, wherein they had to play the save just so they can stand a chance for this round. But here they come, a defension from Cave. Opportunity for Ren, eventually catching out Kimmy, but Josh will make the trade work. And just because of that, that might be the go signal here from Circus. They come in from mid through the doors anyway. Lexi, though, at this means 16 toggle finds Josh as he tries to get back towards the site. And it's Lexi now versus the world until the reinforcements arrive. 3v3 situation, so BBP and a good chance this time around compared to the prior past few outings. It's Mickey though, peeking aggressively, trying to climb those boxes. Flashkey finding Toggle in response. Mickey having to back on the way, and here we come with BBB. Finally, they find the answer. Finally, this match point becomes a match win, and it will be the first map going in favor of Bikini Bomb Prata House.
Dax, I'm gonna be honest, that took a while. They got a little bit complacent, I think. They had their fun. They tried different things. They had the timeout being called, but finally they found the answer, and that was that Josh and I think his teammate Riza, maybe, they pushed in towards Cave. They didn't see anyone there because that is how Team Circus has been played so far. There's a lot of emphasis towards the middle.
And just they went for that outing, right? And despite Team Circus getting that pick off from spawn, it still allowed the rest of BBP to stay in position on the objective itself. And someone can like Lexi, he can buy enough time with his mere presence and with his intel to allow the rest of the team to rotate accordingly. Some great reads overall for Bikini Bomb Prata House. It did taper off in that second half, sure, but what worked in the first half was what ended the game. The fact that they get the right anticipation at the right time, just the fact that they have that intel to know where their opposition is coming from. And while Circus had Herculean efforts, especially from a player like Toggle to play that entry, more often than not, it's BBP just a step ahead.
Definitely. I mean, that's what we're talking about, you know? It's all about that intel, and when BBP get it, and when they are calm, collected, they're able to make the right calls, make the right plays, they are able to close out the round finally. You can even see there was that one moment where Alexi was pinging out on the map for his teammates. Like, there's a guy right here. That's where he's planting the spike. I can hear it. He throws a fragment grenade, and he also gets support in just to push in at all the right angles. That's BBP at their peak. That's BBP when they perform well. On the other hand, though, Team Circus, I mean, there's one guy that just keeps showing up.
Toggles and absolutely insane with those plays, and I expect to see more from him. But you mentioned it, more of a team effort from BBP. Players like Lexi, players like Riza, big reasons why BBP got that lead in the first place. But on the opposite end, I still have to give big props also to what we saw from Kimmy and Splashkey. Huge pickoffs, some great takedowns, and especially that they know that pressure is coming their way, they still find the answer anyway.
It's players like Splashkey, you know, he's not scared to push in. He's not scared to challenge a 1v4 situation. Might have lost, but almost made it work, right? If not for Toggle, of all players, of course. But when it comes down to it, this was just breeze. Team Circus almost made it a comeback, right? We started, what, 2-0, and then all of a sudden, like, we just saw this 8-round win streak coming in from Bikini Bottom Prata House. Lovely team name again, of all names to come up with. And then that's the end of the first half, and all of a sudden we just start seeing the rounds come in from Team Circus, and that's something that you have to respect.
Yeah, that's the thing. The fight is there for Circus, and I expect even more to come in our second map. But for now, guys, we'll be taking a break, and when we return, it will be Pearl Dax here with Quack. We'll see you guys in a bit for more of Clash of Nations.
Hot embers burning up, rising in the air. Lights on the roof above, life without a care. And I know what it means to you. Do you know what it means to me? Now chances take the lead till we blow it up. Face the fires, come back for more. Are you ready? Bring the new. Are you ready? Here for you. Biding my time for the fight, come back for more. Are you ready? Bring the new. Are you ready? Here for you. Face the fires, come back for more. Are you ready? Bring the new. Are you ready? Here for you. Biding my time for the fight, come back for more. Are you ready? Bring the new. Are you ready? Here for you.
Yeah. Yeah. They all watch when I walk past. They all watch when I walk past. Yeah. When I come through, I'm the only one they all talk to. Known to heat it up, I'm weatherproof. I just turn it up, pump the volume. I say dip, say how low. When I leave, they follow. Twerk my hips, go real slow. They lose control. And they all watch when I walk past. You look parched, do you need a glass? My body's shaped like an hourglass. You don't like it when I shake my ass? Well, that's too damn bad. Too bad. That's too damn bad. Too bad. That's too damn bad. Too bad. I'm too damn bad. Does that make you mad? It is a new news. Everybody knows all except you. Let me fill you in, give you a clue. Maybe help you fix your attitude. I'm the star of this show. Got glasses of Merlot. It's all free where I go. Now you know. 'Cause they all watch when I walk past. You look parched, do you need a glass? My body's shaped like an hourglass. You don't like it when I shake my ass? But that's too damn bad. Too bad. That's too damn bad. Too bad. That's too damn bad. Too bad. I'm too damn bad. Does that make you mad? Get used to it. Get used to it. Get used to it. You should really get used to it. Don't hate on me. No, that's so ugly. You could emulate, maybe wipe that smug look off your face. But either way, I'm here to stay. They all watch when I walk past. You look parched, do you need a glass? My body's shaped like an hourglass. You don't like it when I shake my ass? Well, that's too damn bad. Too bad. That's too damn bad. Too bad. That's too damn bad. Too bad. I'm too damn bad. Does that make you mad?
Tell me once, call me fool a couple times. Bring me in, worth a gamble, roll the dice. Count me out of the plans I made tonight. close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Misery loves company and it's your turn. May the doubts last, I'll finish it first. Lights out. Lights out. They look so pretty when they're scared. Caught slipped and they're so unaware. I just kill the enemy, kill the lies. Kill the bad in me, it's a lie. Killing all the noise in my mind. Heavy and hot, revenge, it looks nice. Kill the enemy, kill the lies. Kill the bad in me, it's a lie. Ripping red flags, wave 'em wide. Wave 'em wide. Heavy and hot, revenge, it looks nice. Wave 'em wide.
You know that I got it. Yeah. You know that I got it. Yeah. All this game up in my pocket. Bet that you can't stop it. You know that I got it. Yeah. You know that I got it. Yeah. You know that I got it. Yeah. This game fits in your pocket. Guaranteed to watch it. You know that I got it. Came through stunting with the moves you ain't never seen. Handle so dirty, jumper wet, so I keep it clean. Hand down, man down when I come through dripping. Back turn on the oop, I'ma catch him slipping. Yeah, no look, don't look. Nay, dancing in the sky, boy, no hook. Serving up a big plate, what I just cooked. Yeah, that line got 8, pride got took. Yeah. And now you on a poster. They can't even coach ya. I did it for the. I no look, don't look. Nay, dancing in the sky, boy, no hook. Serving up a big plate, what I just cooked. Yeah, that line got 8, pride got took. Yeah. And now you on a poster. They can't even coach ya. I did it for the culture. Yeah. You know that I got it. Yeah. You know that I got it. Yeah. All this game up in my pocket. Bet that you can't stop me. You know that I got it. I want it all. Fight to the finish. Handle make you fall. Go back to beginning. You never seen this. Game is the meanest. You watch on your phone now. Can't wait till they stream this. And they watch it over and over. Over and over. Reporters can't approach ya. Your teammates wanna roast ya. I did it for the culture. You know that I yeah, you know that I got it. Yeah. Reporters can't approach ya. Your teammates wanna roast ya. Did it for the culture.
You left me there with excuses, not caring about my heart's bruises. You lied about it, I allowed it for your halo. You portray yourself as a victim. I'm making notes in my system. I've been patient, but reputation is your halo. I play a part in your movie. Now you have to choose what suits me. You deserve it.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, to the MYSG qualifiers here at ESL Clash of Nations. That's been Quack yet again. And a while ago, apparently, Life's a Beach and for Bikini Bottom Prata House, that was their home turf, and they called it theirs, their own breeze. It wasn't their map pick, though. As we get into the second map, man, it will be Pearl instead, and for VBP, that's something they played also in the qualifiers. But before we continue talking about that one, Quack, I kind of have to just highlight some impact players from that last game. On Circus' side, Toggle, amazing entries and many a time just providing that chaos. But someone we didn't really get to talk about too much in that post game, Josh, multiple triple kills and so many times clutching it out for the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about BBP. We kind of don't really see like crazy standout performances, but that's because they perform so well together as a team. And then you have someone like Josh who just is able to provide that much value in anchoring down sites and even sneaking around, making use of that Viper's Pit that one round, remember? It's very useful, and that's why he's someone that we have to keep an eye on, especially when we move to the next map, Pearl. Viper is still quite viable in this one.
Yeah, there's always that possibility, and I do wonder what the plan will be for BBP this time around, as they have picked Pearl for our second map. Circus will start on the attacking side. They haven't played this map as of yet here in the qualifiers. And we know for a team like Circus, given the fact that they announced that they're very flexible, we've seen their previous encounters that they swap around who's playing controller, who's playing initiator. I really do want to beg the question, who will we get on what? I think the biggest, I'd say, landmarks that they have here is Toggle is for sure going to be playing that duelist.
Yes.
And then I'm expecting perhaps Six King to bring out a different Sentinel if they're not playing the Chamber this time around.
Maybe, or maybe, who knows? Maybe they turn him into the controller player of all things. That's why it's such a big question mark for this team and how adaptable, truly how flexible they're gonna be. Because Pearl will be a big challenge. This is still a map that's, I guess you could still call it new, but it's just uncommon. Most teams still don't really like it all that much, so they don't practice on it that much. But if you do, then hats off, and that is why I think BBP picked it for a reason. They must have some kind of a game plan.
They have probably all the practice in the world on it in the first place, given the fact that these guys, okay, sure, we've run it before, let's run it down yet again. But I agree with you, Quack, in a way that Pearl is new. It is the newest map, yes, and the patch a month ago made some changes to adjust the map even more so you can't really do that Jing angle that we talked about towards that A site anymore because of the ramp. A few 50-50s are gone. Also, the art box is away, so perhaps those changes can be a factor yet again into the unfamiliar territory that is Pearl. But we get that agent selection, and looking at the previous history of BBP, it does seem like that this is a comp they ran before. Kimi's gonna be on that raise. Lexi on the stage. We've seen him do wonders with that agent on the Blade roster way back when. But look on the other side. Since they're playing the Astra, this time around, it's Mickey playing the controller. We have all on the Fade, and it does seem to be it's a mirror match, right, as we get into the game?
Yeah, it is a mirror match. In fact, this is a composition that actually, it's the same composition that Paper X used in VCT Champions.
Are you telling me the NYSG qualifiers are running the same composition that the top NYSG team played in the global stage?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Like, wow, I can't believe that that's a thing that we're seeing right now. But, you know, that's the interesting thing. It might be the same comp, but you have different players. And more interestingly, for Circus, different roles. They've swapped around. And Mickey is going to be our controller for this map.
Yeah, that's what we have been hard focused on in terms of their flexibility. It feels like it's not a matter of who can play what role, but who can play what agent best. And if Mickey is really their Astra player this time around, then he can go for it. You know, Pikal, he can be great on Initiator. We've seen Ren do so as well. And this time, whoa, Josh is playing the aggression. We're starting things off with Circus on the attack, but we're watching BBP be the ones to play as far-flung as they want to.
I quite like that, though. I mean, it was comboed by the Haunt from Rizza, so he knew it was clear, and he was able to push out that aggressively. And this means that the hit's probably not going towards A. They can confirm that much. It's all up to Splashkey, but he's instantly taken out.
Oh, now they know, but here you go with the contest. Rizza finding Toggle all the way in the back line, but B-side is right for the taking for Ren and the rest of the Circus. Nice shot from Six King. Headhunter, let's not forget, no follow-up whatsoever, and a single shot to the head, especially in pistol round, absolutely effective. Retake, though, in the 4v4 scenario. Now we see a few of the changes here on the alleyway, but Ren is watching out for who may come his way. Kimmy already proving that he's playing the close encounter. Frenzy in hand, able to let it rip and tear apart. Will the full auto. The wall is gonna be there, similar to what we've seen on a map like Pearl. You have that stage, you want to set up the wall. It seems like we do have Lexi with the same plan. Rizza, though, decided to go for the contest as close as possible.
God.
4 for Rizza, and that will be enough for BBP to take the round.
What an explosive start, Dax, and that's just the perfect retake. Lexi didn't even really have to stay off the spike. I mean, he did, but that just made the defuse close anyway. RZA was so smart hearing the knife slashes away at the wall, and he pushed it. This wall coming in from, I mean, not wall, excuse me. This Nebula coming in from the Astra player, Josh as well, must be, or Mickey perhaps, but it gave them a little bit more breathing room. It blocked off the vision, and that's just how you want to play a retake. It was very smart and deliberate. It was that choice for them to actually continue to push in all the way from that one spot as well, instead of continuing to challenge B main.
I'm just guessing their comms were like, Rizza, you got this? And he's like, I got this. You can just stick that defuse. What a play there to start things off. But this time around, this is a 4 spot here from the side of Circus. Seems like that's going to be the case immediately now. Mickey decided to go for the push, and the rest of Circus have taken command of B side so quickly here, Quack.
Speed is one of their best values, best tactics. Leaves BBP playing catch up. They see the rendezvous though, so they know that a player's there, but what they don't expect is Pachal from behind, and now Lexi has to look both ways, getting taken out, and that's Josh left alone.
8 HP, a ghost? I don't think so. A single bullet, there you go. A shot anticipating him, bit of a pre-fire even. We are tied up 1-1. That is just such a great adjustment from Circus. Suddenly going into 6th gear from such slow pace in the round prior to that one really put BBP in for a loop.
No fear. I mean, they get some weapons as well. Now, if you're on the side of BBP, you're going to have to think about this one, because you're expecting your opponents to play a little bit more scared, but Circus are just changing that around.
Well, I think that's one thing we mentioned while we were on break. There were a few times where Circus was a bit more fearful, I'd have to say, to what BBP was doing. Yes, they would play that aggression last time around on Breeze. They would play for that mid control, but this time, if there is no hesitation, they might be able to catch out members of BBP, just like what we saw there. Rizza was caught out immediately by the chamber. Toggle already taking that spike and looking to transition towards B. And even though BBP have congregated towards the middle, there is still a chance for Toggle to play this lurk perfectly. It's not really the best guns for BBP whatsoever. They're on the lesser bite thanks to the steal there by Circus. And here we go yet again. B site is taken. 6 King of 1 watching out for the flank. The raised paint shells have been thrown, and here we go with the Spectre yet again. Kimmy though with the takedown, 3v4, and Toggle is on cleanup duty this time around.
And all he's got to do is to fire away that 3-round burst. Ren coming in to support as well. Josh, once more, the last one. Can't clear it all on his own. I mean, this is just smart plays coming in from Circus. Now they've adapted around. They just go in faster, more confident, and once they have the site, they cover all exits.
And given that this is a mirror matchup, they can basically strike out the utilities of the other team based on their pickoffs. It's like, okay, there's not going to be too much intel as the fade is gone. This allows us to just push this. This allows us to actually go for these 50-50 angles instead, force them to peek into the corner rather than getting flushed out. So some great calls from Circus so far. I'm really liking how they've decided to take command of the game more so, but that's one way to bring a stop sign into the equation. Splash key, op bots for the 4th round. Gets that pick off already. We get the art contest instead from the rest of Circus, but it's Lexi watching out this time, but oh no, hands up. He wanted to set up the wall, but before he can even get construction going, it's his destruction that he has met.
A little bit unfortunate, but now what they have to think about is A main, because Josh has actually made use of that time to push up into this one spot. So the spike might be planted, but we still have utility and a lot of support, fire support that is, coming in from BBP.
Beyond an awkward mistake there from BBP, the rest of the round as perfect as can be. So many angles of opportunity when you're willing to push, and this feels like a game of willingness right now, Quack. Who's willing to take more of that map control? Who's willing to throw caution to the wind and decide to get another angle of opportunity? Circus has proven that they can do so with the fast takes, but this time around, BBP, the retake can be very effective if you're just looking to come out from all the walls and all the angles that you can attain.
I mean, that's what it's about, right? Who dares wins. And you have BBP feeling themselves. They buy up the big guns. You've got Splash Key on the operator, and it works out great. Even on the retakes, when they have the awareness to approach from a certain spot of the map, it gives them a lot more support, especially when they work together as a team that way. On the other hand, though, Circus, they're calling a timeout right now. They still have quite the economy to work with. They've got 2 ultimates. I think Mickey has his Cosmic Divide. Maybe Pachal has his Nightfall. And that's something that they can use extremely effectively. That's why this timeout is being called, because they are cooking something up.
Yeah. I want to bring up the contrast, though, we saw for that A take compared to the B takes.
Honestly.
We've had some Circus as we're looking to get into another round. In the B takes for Circus, they have a bit of a split to go for that opening, to go for that B side from an angle or two before putting that spike down. But this time, we saw them go for that A take over towards Art, but they sent someone onto the left door instead from middle. So maybe if they contest A main rather than look for another opening towards another site, that can give them a better chance to get the A objective, which is, you know, similar to what they do on B side itself.
Perhaps. But they keep neglecting this A main position, and it gives Josh a lot of space to work with. That spot, A main, banana, that's effectively his. We're seeing Circus challenge
So
Art
you're
again
saying it's not A main, it's A Josh by this point.
Basically, right? I mean, he's watching this angle. He might push into it. Not unless it's challenged by Circus now.
Finally, though. We have Ren, we have Pikal, and the rest of the roster
4
decided to
players.
go for it. So the contrast we mentioned a while ago, this time they are looking to concentrate towards A. Only the chamber might come from Art later on, and he's watching out for middle on that lurk. But here comes the rest of Circus. Josh gonna be backing on away. The main angle that he called his for a long time has to retreat.
Whoa.
And it's Lexi with the wall, but gets away in time. Ooh, the Astro Wall, though, is there too for the attacking side, but Kimmy finds 6 King, and Toggle will find the trade on the other Astra. Spikes out planted, and the retake is forced out here.
Oh, this is going to be tough. They're going to have to wrap around. They're going to have to flank Art alone. And this means that the other 3 players from Circus are holding this one spike all the way from A main. Sure, they can keep peeking into it, but you have so much utility. I don't know if Josh still has stars, but all they got to do is just watch this one spot. Look at Art, though. A flank coming in.
That's gonna be effective if ever, and finally Ren able to make it count. Splasky, eventually the shots connect, but 7 HP. Nothing much to work with, and the operator looking to get saved for the next round. What a play from Circus. They contested that main angle. They set up that Cosmic Divide to absolute perfection, and this gives them the lead in the second map.
And that's one way to play post plant as well. Ren on that flank was quite effective, I must say. And now that puts Circus in the lead. This is not at all going according to plan for BPP.
Was that a long rotate from Ren? Because it was 6 King at the start of the round on the lurk, but he got caught by Kimmy, right? So the fact that Circus was still willing to go for that second angle really goes to show that they know what works here on a map like Pearl, that works against BBP.
You want to
And
play? Let's play.
This team, from what we've seen for the past 2 maps, there is that tendency for them to give up the site knowing an ultimate is coming. That Nightfall, yes, it made space, but it didn't really get any targets there, courtesy of the defense. So really goes to show that Circus, they have that confidence to play away from the objective if ever, and now 6 King, well, he's the one still playing on a Splash Key, shoulder spotted, taken down by the Tour de Force.
I mean, if I'm being honest, Bikini Bottom, they look kind of emotional right now. They're starting to get a little bit antsy, challenging certain angles, pushing certain spots on the map, and unfortunately, it bites them in the back. They're down one player. And that's Splashkey, the one who saved the operator from the previous round.
Well then. Still, we got Circus now, moving towards that A site. Kimmy gonna be on duty with Josh away from the angle. They're looking to play the pits instead, and it's Toggle with a push over onto the flower shop to get the pain shell. So it's really utility for space that Circus is happy to trade for. The orb even. It's gonna be so difficult for BBP to even get on site to contest that spike plant. But Lexi finds Poggle as he's retreating. So at least a pick off here for Bikini Bottom Brat House. It's looking very difficult still though, because they need to regroup. They need to sync up their timings here, Quack, before they can even make it for the site fight again.
You know, even if they don't get the spike, they could actually just go in for frags at this point. Rizza, what a flank. Toggle trying to hold it all on his own, but it's 6th King, along with Mickey, that actually managed to find all the frags in this round.
Yeah. The chamber with the impact, half of his name, 6 King with the 3K there at the very end. This is just an effective offense from Circus when they decide to put all their chips on a single site. And I guess that's the beauty of this composition to begin with. Yes, it's a mirror matchup, but what we're seeing here is the fact that a team like Circus willing to invest those utilities early just to secure that spike plant. And many a time, we've seen from Bikini Bomb Prata House that it's a little bit awkward on the timing. A few times where Lexi is caught going for the barrier orbs, a few times where really the stars aren't set up accordingly from the defensive Astra. Those small split-second moments are allowing a team like Circus to actually get in the way they want to. But this time out, Bikini Brown Prata House, they changed up the name of the game, and Rizza and the rest of the crew have decided to play the aggression towards middle. It's an interesting challenge from Circus. They're still fighting this, knowing the fact that there's so many members of the defense all set up here in mid, and Kimmy finding 6 King even. Ren's the only one left in a 1v5 situation. There's the boom bot, and there's the takedown. Rizza with a 3K. And for me, maybe Circus didn't need to fight that battle this time.
Yeah, an almost flawless round, and perhaps they didn't need to, but they wanted to. They saw a lot of utility being sent that way, and instead of pushing towards another site, they wanted to challenge it. And I think that was something that affected them. It was also that they kind of wanted to see what they could get, right? Perhaps it was just one player getting a little bit curious, pushing out. They could punish it, but unfortunately it just didn't work out.
Yeah, just a big all-in gamble there for BBP, and it paid off this time as they cash out on a round win and a very great economical state. But this time, Circus actually changing it up yet again. This is really the adaptation of Circus in this matchup. Sometimes slow, sometimes fast. Now we go back to slow. And we get the Prowler on Splashkey. He's playing the close angle yet again with the operator. We saw how it panned out last time around versus 6 King, but maybe against Toggle, it'll be a bit better here, Quack.
I mean, all he really needs to do is to find that one player, or not, and just rendezvous away. One thing to consider, though, is that if he falls back, they would have effectively lost the A site, because there is nothing here, nothing else that can block off the A site. Now Toggle gets to push in for free, but take a look at the mini-map, Dax.
Oh, surprise, surprise. A bait play here as Toggle will sacrifice his life for the cause. Force the rendezvous out, Splashkey still with a takedown. But the rest here of the Game Bomb Prata House, it's a B take that Circus has decided to go for. They still have the Resurrection, but they can't really get that raise back online as he's in a completely different area code. Long rotate being intercepted by the stage, but he realizes, okay, they might not be coming from here. I'm just gonna go reinforce the site itself instead. The numbers advantage is still in favor of the defense anyway. And Bikini Bomb Prata House with a Nightfall there to remember. and they actually get more of that detection, more of that intel. 16 right behind all of this, and Rizzo with the takedown onto the first. Here comes the keep off at the house, and they're playing the retake to perfection. They got the intel that they needed, and they find the targets accordingly. The defense able to tie things up at the very end. Sure, they fall for the initial sleight of hand, but they will not fall for the cards being flipped over later on.
Yeah, this is just Bikini Bottom Prata House becoming a powerhouse now. I swear, Kimmy has wings at this point because this guy knows how to fly. Whether he's Jet, whether he's the Raze, he is able to make use of his team, and he's able to make use of the chaos and firefights just to put himself into these other positions where he's finally able to get the last few frags, and his team, everyone coming in as well. I think they made use of specific parts of the map, the wall that was erected by Ren as well, just to close in the space. I mean, they know how to play retake, and that's something that Circus has to look out for.
Chaos caused there by BBP, and at the very end, they realize, okay, we have that man advantage. This is absolutely winnable. And you mentioned that even using the tools that the opposition set up to get there in their favor. But we're not done. Yes, it's tied up. But this has been the closest margin we've had here so far, Quap. And you mentioned it, a long journey from that B side. Not one, not two, but three on the flank. And we're looking towards the Chamber's flash key to buy that time here, Quack. He needs to maybe get a pick off or at least go for the pressure. He's looking for the takedown, the rendezvous to get on the way. Shot the foot off Toggle, and eventually Lexi will get the wall bang to get that takedown. So that's the first confirmation they're looking for. The res comes in online. Mickey providing covering fire. Splash key goes down, but here comes that flank. It might finally pay off here for BBP.
It definitely will. Almost whiffed it, but here comes the teammate for support. They absolutely did not get that flag. And unfortunately, even Lexi falls, and that leaves Josh alone, narrowly avoiding the C's. He only has 1 star left and 3 players to work against. Puts up yet another smoke, and he pushes up front, but it's a bit of a 50-50 to check. Toggle, Pachal playing off contact of his teammate. It's just the perfect post-plant setup. A bit of whiff shots coming from BBP as well.
BBP. I like the ambition. I like the try. But we've seen from Circus, they do watch out for those angles. They back off away from the site if need be. And the fact that they were able to figure out, okay, that these guys are coming here, that there might be more than one player that might come from A main. It's Circus this time showing a better understanding on how their opponents are looking to move around the map. They keep the lead in their favor. And these A hits seem to be very effective so far for the attacking side. Here we go yet again. The mid contest from BBP when the going gets tough. This time, Circus, they realize the situation. They're not going to challenge it. They're just watching out for anyone who pushes. And there you go. 6 King finding Kimmy, the first to fall in the round.
They just know that that push was coming in. 6 King still holding that angle. Rizza's going to send a Prowler out to check, but at this point, do they really want to fight this? 3 sheriffs, 2 players down low into the red, and Splash Key rendezvous all the way to the back of the site. They don't know that he's here. Unfortunately, wait, I thought he got him just as the spike planter, but he whiffed. That's not good.
That was the freest kill of them all, and unfortunately, still a price to be paid. His life in the round. 4v3. Circus has just shown that they understand that, okay, these guys are coming in as a unit. There are many players looking to push from the middle, and they kept an eye out for not just 1, but 2. Sure, 16 fell, but the fact that he played that corner in the first place really showed us that Circus knows that this team on the other side, the BBP, will come in spades. And Mickey, that's an easy lineup for him. Josh and Rizza both fall to the single clip, and that's it. 6-4. Circus proving that they are here to fight.
They really are. Their fists are up, their sleeves are rolled, and Bikini Bottom, I don't know what's going on with them, but it looks like some of their players are playing off form. I mean, you talked about it, Dax. That was the freest kill, and he had to pay the price somehow. You know, that's just not what you want to have. If he had gotten that kill, that spike would have been dropped. He would have bought a little bit more time for his teammates, but even then. And then you got a player like Mickey getting the perfect lineup as well, and that's when you want to seize that moment. This time around, Circus, playing back to a little bit of a default. Challenging A site once more.
Spot out one as Josh has to contend with the Prowler. Toggle though, backing on away. Default as you mentioned, and Circus, they're seemingly looking for a pick before anything else. It's a game of the floor is lava here basically. Whoever gets a little too antsy, they might be the ones to fall first. And Circus, they've been taking advantage of the fact here. Quack 6 King now might be meeting Ariza soon over onto mid doors. The Prowler though to get the scout doesn't really find any targets. A false sense of security. 6 King will find Rizza, and the challenge works out for the chamber in the end.
Surely you should have kind of expected, like, that Prowler didn't clear out every single corner, and unfortunately, Rizza's gonna get punished for it. Melts away. That's the first victim to the lava. Now, A site is execute going in. Stopped by the slow, but still able to get the frag. Now it's gonna be up to Josh. He finds the first one, gets a second with a tiny little pixel, but Ren comes in back for the trade. The Cosmic Divide now blocking off the final two members of BBP.
And just no sight whatsoever towards the site. We've seen this before from Circus. They're looking to be effective yet again. And Ren this time going into Flowers. He's gonna use a small little cubby to get towards Secret. Behind you, Splashkey. Splash turn around, but there's no just looking back as Ren will find him there. 1v3, all up to Kimmy. Has a showstopper, sure, but it's just smack dab in the middle with the spike. The jump peaks to scare him off. Just the other angle, the 180 if ever. There's even the haunt. Just no way for Kimmy to actually get this round. Has to retreat, and this is Circus again, showing us how effective their plans can be.
This is... I am shocked. I'm incredibly surprised by how Circus is playing right now, because Breeze looked a little bit rough at the start, especially when you had BBP coming in with that win streak. All of a sudden on a map that's not their own, and they perform this way. And they're able to find entries, they're able to play slow, they're able to leave 6th King on such an effective lurk that BBP has no idea how to respond. You have done something incredible.
Right calls at the right times. And overall, Circus have shown that they can bring the fight to BBP on a map like this. It's a mirror matchup, and they're just being more effective on how to utilize all their agents to the best degree. This time around, they get the showstopper brought on out. 6 King though, how many times does he make this lurk count? There you have it with the takedown splash key. Makes the trade work, and Rizza, another plan perhaps with the judge, but look at the peaks, and look at the double up there from the offense. 3v3 though, after Ren gets traded, Splashkey still trying to go for the contest, but it's Toggle, happy to play the closer angle versus him. They do back on the way, Pikal, blocked off by the smoke. And here comes a bit of trouble, as I believe that might be Ren looking to make the flank happen if ever. Lexi rather. It's Toggle though, still on side. Lexi finding Poggle there. The better chance for BBP this time around. There we got it. Lexi making it work from the longest angle of them all. And Bikini Bomb at the house. They needed a round like that to get them back in the swing of things. 5-7 to end the half.
Just a little bit more life inside of them. BBP, they make those retakes effective. At times, it looks unwinnable, especially with those off angles being held so much to cover. But when they get going, when they're working as a team, they are able to get that round back in their hands. But once again, you have to consider that was not easy. That was not the cleanest thing ever. You had mistakes, you had players pushing out, and always kind of somehow forgetting that 6th King is definitely lurking somewhere towards middle.
The king of all lurks from what we've had so far. Overall, Circus has forced some mistakes from Bikini Brown at the house, and it takes an effort for BBP to get back into the round, to get back into contesting the point itself. And we saw it from Lexi in that last outing, how they can play that recovery. But now we swap the sides here, Quack. 5-7. Do we go for a third map? Or do what, Lexi? Oh, she's just out in the open like that.
That was weird.
That was strange. Of all the angles to hold, And with the spike in hand, it gets really awkward real quick for BBP, man.
Well, sometimes things happen, and you have to pay the price, and your spike gets dropped, your teammates pick it back up, but your positions have been revealed. Circus kind of know where it is now, and they're just holding around Connector, holding around Link, because they know that's the next possible spot for BBP to explore. Oh,
and there you go, Splash Key does find Red. Splash Key even with a second! And, well, we're waiting in this pool, and at least that's the opening needed, made by BBP after everything is said and done. Bikini Bomb Prathouse looking to go for that A side. Josh versus Mickey in the battle of the Astras. Trying to use the Nebula to get one through to the other side. Looking to surprise the Astra, and there you go. So much pressure from all the utilities. The Pain Shells even forcing Mickey to be in a bad position. And Josh will take advantage. It's 3v2 though. And most of the defense now coming in from a Link. Can this double up from Six King as well as the Rays be effective enough? Main hold instead from the side of BBP. Left and right. Josh might put in the pressure with the jump peaks, but really it's Kimi and Rizza we have to watch out for. Here they come, and down go the opposition. Rizza with a 2K with the frenzy. So effective with that full auto pistol in these economical rounds, and there you go, pistol win in the second half for BBP.
Yeah. Some days you just gotta face that firing squad of BBP. And despite losing Lexi that early on in the round, they still managed to convert it into a win. Rizza just goes in for the widest swing of his life with that automatic pistol. Support from teammates as well, and he will be able to claim those 2 frags.
Dude, Rizza has been popping off with that frenzy, and it has been popping off in certain rounds for BBP. I do want to mention that I believe he's the only Malaysian player in Bikini Bomb Prathouse. He has that experience from Kingsman, which was one of the top teams back then, but it's now the Ardacrest from Circus. Trade after trade, but at the very end, the skirmish will settle with the advantage towards Bikini Bomb Prathouse. Some good economical damage done by Circus though, and there is a slight chance. Headhunter has 2 bullets. Do you believe in miracles here, Quack?
You gotta believe. 13 HP though, and he's making quite a bit of noise. I think Josh may have heard something, that's why he's peeking back. No?
Teleport's ready.
He's
Maybe
investigating.
Not.
Yeah,
It has to be all headshots
oh!
though.
Oh! No! 2 bullets for 2 targets, but neither had their name on it. And there at the end, it's 7-7. Not a bad round for Circus, though, after everything is said and done. That's a great way to force out the trades, especially when you're only on pistol.
True, but when it comes down to it, still round 1, you got the points closer for your ultimate. You've got the Bulldog still in your hands. You've got a Phantom, a Vandal, 2 Spectres. I could still see BBP winning this round.
There's a chance, and I think this is going to be ultimately the round that can define who has momentum moving forward. It's a tied scoreline now. Someone needs to get that lead back. And with the guns, seems like Circus, they have an idea on how to do so. Plaza Contesto from the side of BBP. The rest of Circus are anticipating it through the doorway. It's Poggle and Toggle. Pakal getting that takedown, giving such a hefty advantage now in favor of the defense.
Dude, that crouch from Pakal was poggers. he just avoided the push coming in from Splash Key. And now this one Nebula, it might allow them to sneak into Connector, but can you really hide away that much from Toggle? He smells blood, and he wants it.
He knows they're looking to get this way, but Josh at least watching out for that angle. Pakal in the meantime ready for the second station, and this will force the rest of BBB to back on away. Now the burden is on Six King's shoulders. He backs on away with the rendezvous, but he's still ready for the close encounter of the Chambers kind. Lexi not wanting to get caught out in awkward angle with that barrier orb, and this time it's Josh with a takedown. They confirm the kill force, then they go for the wall second. A great call mid-transition by BBP.
This is... Oh god, this is incredible. I mean, they made that possible thanks to some jump peaks from Lexi, thanks to 2 Nebulas from Josh. And just like that, they have the site. Pakal, the rest of the team now, can only peek outside of halls. And Josh already knows where they might just be. Lexi
Oh,
holding
man,
the
Lexi.
angle fix. There's wall sprays down for the triple. And now BBP are in the lead, 8-7.
Impressive from Lexi. This is why this guy was part of a top team for so very long. And just the adjustment there. He learned from his mistakes from that first half to not be caught out with the barrier orb in hand. They went for the confirmation of the kill onto 6King first, and he just surprised everyone there on the Circus side by holding right on top of the spike. That was a 5v3 to start things off, Quack, and they made do with the trio they had.
That's just incredible. Every part of that round. I mean, down to, defending the spike by standing on it. What a play. Coming down back into it though, and now they're feeling confident, so it's going to be the fast send it all the way down B lane, and they will be able to claim the site. Spike planted. Just a few seconds.
I mean, after a round like that, they not only break the economics here of Circus, but they also break a bit of that confidence, and look how they just went at that B side. Still, they have to be careful
Splash
because
King.
Mickey and Poggle are looking to go for the flank. Kimmy though already getting twos to start things off, and it's easy pickings for the Rays. Josh also not one to get one up, gets the 2 game of his own. Ren finds Josh, but Rizzo will find Ren in response. And now the momentum is in Bikini Bottom Prata House as well. This is where this squad can start to run away with it. And the Circus, they've kept it close. They've had that lead for a bit also. But BBP has been in striking distance for so long already. And now the shoe is on the other foot, man.
It takes one good punch, one good hit for Circus to land just to bring things back. It's still possible. 4 rounds in a row coming in from BBP, and they have the momentum, sure, but the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I mean, we've seen them get a little bit complacent at times, so they have to play a little bit more careful now. Look at this spray coming through. It actually tagged them up a little bit, I think. Still relatively healthy. Question is, do you still want to challenge this?
There you go, 6King with a bit of a jump peak, but Hall is known by Bikini Bomb Prata House to have a member on the inside. Well, indoors can be a safe place, sure, but this time we make a safer place with a Cosmic Divide, courtesy of the Astra. The peek comes in, they're looking for it as the gun barrels are peeking out. Eventually, Splash Key will get taken down, the Lurk is caught, but there you go with the Barrier Orb into play. So a small partition that Lexi is able to build to allow them to put that spike plant. But BBP, they have a chance here to rotate if ever here, Quack. They can also go for the res if ever, but Kimmy already getting a takedown onto Mickey. Toggle will trade it up. 4v3? What's the plan here, Lexi?
The question in everyone's mind. They're waiting for Josh to send in a little bit more support, but here comes the showstopper. Instantly Lexi gone, and then everyone else to follow. That is one way to deal with the ultimates coming in from BBP.
The one way is to throw out more ultimates?
Yeah, throw out more ultimates too.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they were just waiting for a go signal. I think that Lexi tapped that spike, and as soon as they heard that, they just went in with the showstopper and the nightfall. But it really just has been Circus willing to go for those kind of confident plays, and a small smidge of intel, a small signal is all they need to execute with.
That's exactly it. Just, again, figuring out exactly how they're holding, what their game plan is, and then they find the perfect counter. That's how Circus plays. And now, trying out something different. We've got Bikini Bottom actually exploring mid now. Nobody found, though.
No one here at all in Plaza. Instead, they go towards main. Really, this game, though, as close as can be. When you think that Bikini Bomb Prata House can start running away with the game, Circus strikes back, and vice versa. But then again, stars have been set up here by Mickey. Nightfall instead to allow Kimmy to actually transition. We've seen a lot from the Fade and the Raze together for both sides to allow them that space. Mickey will find one before he falls. Josh will make that trade, and eventually it will be the 3v3 as Toggle with the fadeaway paint shells catches out Rizza. Still a chance for the defense to make things work. They even have a bit of that HP advantage, but Kimmy, look at him go. Over on the secret, he's ready to vie for it. Ren looking to break that wall, and Ren will break the place of Splashkey too. Skiksking on the board, and here comes Circus. There is just no jokes whatsoever, but Josh with a 4K for himself. 18 HP, the blast back left behind, and a parting gift from Toggle to end the round. As unfortunate as it gets, could have been the ace, but instead, it will be the Grave killing him in the end to tie up the scoreline.
I cannot believe that was how it ended, Dex. Almost the ace, and of all things.
Of all things, he just runs it. He's like, what is that on my feet?
A post-mortem blast pack left on the ground, a lovely gift-wrapped present from Toggle, from the grave and beyond.
Yeah, look, in the Philippines, we celebrate Christmas a little too early as soon as it's the Burr month, it's Christmas time. But I think October is a little too early to give a gift like that. Oh.
It is the Day of the Dead. It is Halloween. It is Dia de los Muertos.
Well, there you go.
Oh my
Of
god.
all things to kill you, it had to be that. And in all honesty, that has to break a bit of the mental here for BBP. Just how unfortunate that could have been. How unfortunate that really panned out. But it really was just Circus. Impressive on the retake there.
Yes.
The fact that they broke off that whole segment a while ago allowed them that open angle. And this round, nothing much really to talk about. Gun advantage and just another overwhelming hold by Circus to get that lead back. 10-9. We're getting a game here, folks. We might even get a third map if things keep going on Circus' side. The operator hand for Six King, but truly this Malaysian squadron looking to prove themselves here.
Yeah, I think they have proven themselves. I mean, this is incredible ways to deal with the offensive pushes coming in from Bikini Bottom. I mean, they are holding their own. They've won 3 rounds in a row now. If they can get a 4th, they break the economy once more. I don't know how Bikini Bottom will recover.
Well, instead of hitting rock bottom, they need to take the bus upwards. And Splashkey, there you go! That's how they can try and start things off. The call makes a trade work though, 4v4, but the pressure is on from Art. Well, is this gonna be a masterpiece? We'll see though who's gonna get thrashed this time around. Lexi with the peek, Mickey goes down. The call comes in from main. They took that angle, sure. The thing is, BBP, they're anticipating it already. Put the spike in cover. Boombot gets the confirmation. Now they know no escape for Poggle. And Kimby with the takedown for himself.
2 players are all that remain. Coming in from Flowers, too. I think they're very much aware of this. Kimmy's kind of spotted them out. And Josh giving extra support with the Nebula allows for Rizza just to sneak in. They see exactly both of them. That's the first headshot. And now Rizza possibly going in for the hunt. Ren wants to get the exit frags at this point, but there's not much that he can do. So just running all the way to the B site. And this is Bikini Bottom with the perfect A hit.
That recovery. Just getting back into it. And oh, they're even hunting down Ren. Josh tries to stay alive. Can they catch out Ren? Not gonna happen. No one else close by. But we are just not letting go of this game, man. We are going the distance. 10-10 already on the scoreline. Double digits for these 2 teams. And it just goes to show that if you have that early aggress here from Bikini Bottom Prata House, that's one way for them to get confirmation that that can be an angle that can still be used by Circus, because they lose Splashkey early, sure, but he got a pick off and he was traded. So that might mean, okay, that this is Circus still looking to hold it. Kimmy getting the confirmation with the Boombot, and the rest was history for the attack.
Exactly. And it's not even just Splashkey getting traded too. He saw that there were 3 players peeking into him, and that was big intel for BBP. Now back into it, they're going back to defaults and holding angles. They're not going overly aggressive, and that's what I like about them. Now they're being a little bit more careful because they want to secure that lead. They don't want to lose it.
I don't think we have the best buy here even for the defense, so we'll see now. Six King, he's just right there, ready to stick them up like the best of them. But he gets out of, I think he got out of his own rendezvous range. His suit changed color, and Splashkey will get that takedown. Oh no, you never want to change clothes in front of people, man. It's a little embarrassing.
Just a little bit.
Why'd you fight it?
1
ahead.
inch, and it makes such a difference. Now here comes Kimmy with the showstopper, getting taken out midair though by Toggle. Value still provided, and that's going to be the site passed over onto BBP.
A game of inches,
Spike
basically. That
planted.
showstopper, a little above,
player
but enough
standing.
to clear out dugouts. And everything left now to Pikal. 1v4, he does have a Vandal, sure. But the site is just heavily held here by BBP. By this point, it's a game of endurance, Quack. And I think who makes the bigger mistakes first will be the ones to fold on a map like this.
I mean, that's exactly it. You gotta know how to recognize the game state. Try to read and get a feel for how your opponents are playing. Force some mistakes or anticipate some pushes, and that's when you can punish them. And BBP are doing exactly all of that. You can feel that Circus are starting to get a little bit nervous about this. And that is why I'm very curious to see how they'll react in the next round. They should have enough just to buy back.
Pressure is on. And for Circus, their lives are on the line. Bit of a timeout even called by Circus. They know some of the mistakes here made. And look at that! Look at it change
Yeah.
colors!
Oh, yeah, you
no.
can see the radius now.
Planted.
That has to hurt. He could have gotten a shot and then gotten away with that one, but well, unfortunate occurrences. There have been a few of them, a few moments here.
Yes.
In this game, Crack, from the blast back to that outing, it has been very memorable, not just because of the close scoreline, but some of the shenanigans that have happened. In the end, though, BBP, we mentioned it a while ago already. They've kept within striking distance of Circus, and the moment Circus shows weakness, Bikini Bomb Prata House are the ones able to exploit it.
And that's really all that it is. I mean, you see that one sign of weakness. You see that one critical spot, and you go in for the kill. You put yourselves on top, and if you can maintain that lead, you'll secure a match point and maybe even the win. This could still be a comeback game. Who knows? Because Circus, they're calling that timeout. They're thinking about it. It's that all in or nothing play. You're going in for, you know, a judge, maybe
It's
some
a half
sheriffs.
buy. It's not the worst
Yeah.
situation. I think they're gonna have money for the next round later on. They've
And they
done
have
the
ultimates.
math. They're gonna have ultimates, but this is a potential situation for BVP to put themselves on match point. And this is gonna be even worse for Six King. Can't play the close angle. Caught out by the Prowler, immediately spotted before he can even do anything. Giving a few jump peeks here and there. One of the biggest strengths of Bikini Bomb Prata House has had is the amount of intel they garner, not just through utility, but just from peaks in general. They do not want to overcommit though. They have a feeling already that Circus is lying in wait. And of all the people with the judge, it's Ren there. You play into that hallway, you are dead. And BBP probably feels it's just like, maybe let's not go there. Maybe
Yes.
let's not look for a trip towards the museum.
You know, all they saw was that one player. There could still be more booby traps. They did spray and wallbang just to clear out the back of B screen, but that's exactly why they're holding. They don't know what's on the other side. You have to venture into the unknown.
They probably asked their magic console what to do, and now
Oh.
they will decide to go for it. Oh no, the judge is ready! And Ren, he finally springs this trap to absolute fruition, gets that takedown, heals himself, but Rizzo will make the trade. Showstopper step, but Rizzo again and again and again, just revitalizing the squad to keep them up in the numbers. 4v2, make that 4v1. Huge plays from Rizza. They're facing off a Malaysian team, but he's the best Malaysian around this time around. 12-10, match points and series point for Bikini Bomb Prata House.
Match point.
Still one of the top players of Malaysia. Back in the Kingsman days, now with BVP, and he is dominating. Is this Patrick? No, this is Rizza. This... And he comes in. Oh my god, he's earning the ultimate again as well. It's that all in or nothing play for Circus because it comes down to this round.
This is it. This is where all of Circus's survival lies on. If they can make these kills happen early on, especially with Six King, that can be helpful in a pinch. But BBP, they've adjusted, they played the clutch, and they know who they can rely on. His name is Rizza. Here comes the contestant 16, finally makes the early rendezvous play work. Gets the pick off onto Splash Key. Nightfall to get the clear outs. And the question is, oh Josh, you have to back on the way quickly. He had the knife out, luckily he's able to get back into cover. While this all happens though, it's an 8 take for BBP. But do they care about this for Circus? They want to clear out the numbers first and foremost. Someone's waiting also towards spawn. And now Circus will know the lay of the land after everything is said and done.
This is such a chaotic round. And Mickey is hiding inside a spawn? If they push into him, this could be trouble, and they do. Oh, the trigger discipline. No, almost fumbled it, but he's still able to get one, just one. That might be enough. Rizza's rotating over from CT as well. Oh, and it's all up to him now. Six King's already on site. They've been slowed. They've been trapped. Ooh. They have to land all the shots.
Lexi, it's all up to you, but no, the back alleys do not work out in favor of BBP. We talk about throwing caution to the wind, but that was turning up to the next level, Quack. What a round.
I mean, if it worked, it would have been amazing. If they didn't lose players towards B side, that would have been awesome. But unfortunately, Six King is just performing right now, and he's still able to take off heads, even trapped with a Nightfall. It was a great fake, and they managed to sell it, but down to the wire. And you know, who knew? Who would have known that Mickey would be hiding inside a defender's spawn? Like, why are you there?
Look, they sold the fake, but this team of Circus found a better deal at the very end. And this is it. Last round of regulation. Circus wins this. We go into overtime. If not, we are done with this series. Bikini Bomb Prada House. It's time to push in from Arts. They're looking for any targets if ever. Splash Key clearing out some utility also. Bold and brash now from the side of Bikini Bomb Prata House. And the defense, they have to watch out for Art as much as possible. There we go with Fade Utility and Kimmy making Six King fall early on. The defense, unfortunately, falling into the trash as Rizza will find Boggle there. Kimmy even with Mickey. And all in all, it's a masterpiece here for Bikini Bomb Prata House. Toggle will fight, Toggle will try, but he needs a teammate to get back with him. And Rizza, look at him go. He's trying to find the angle, and it will catch out Toggle. It's such an awkward scenario. Sweet victory is coming the way of Bikini Bomb Prata House, and Ren is the only one that can put a stop to this. The performance now from the stage goes for the resurrection, makes it a 3v2 here on Secret. We get the fight and we get the kills. It's a victory for Bikini Bomb Prata House. They move to the playoffs, and they will take the series 2-0.
13-11, and we finally get that sweet, sweet taste of victory on the tips of our tongues. That is the best play I've ever seen in this entire map. The way that they pushed in, you called it bold and brash, and they were fearless. I mean, everything down from the utility to the peaks from Kimmy, just pushing out of Art like that. The slow plus the paint shells to take out Mickey. It's nothing short of perfection.
Eventually, BBP, they made it work. It looked to be, for Circus, the map that they could take, the map that they had some great adjustments on, and especially that first half, we saw from Circus how confident they could play on both the slow and the fast side of things. But at the very end, BBP, they didn't let unfortunate occurrences shake their confidence. They realized that, okay, if we can actually get really these pushes to work out in our favor, if we get these hard hits that we know are good for clearing out the angles and more so, then we're gonna have the side control that we need and some really big step-ups from the likes of Lexi and of course from the likes of Rizza. What a game Rizza had here. Even in the first half he was performing, but here in the second, in a pinch, he was relied on.
I mean, there were so many of those rounds. I mean, you had the pistol round with the frenzy, you had those moments where he knew exactly how some of his Malaysian counterparts would play. I mean, pushing in towards Secret into Flower like that knowing that they would reposition around it rather than pushing out of dugout, it's just smart. It's cerebral, and he's reading his opponents, and that's what makes him so great, and that's what gives him these wins. And of course, that is why they are the team that gets to proceed forward into the ESL Clash of Nations SCA playoffs.
They're going to be one of those 8 amazing representatives that we'll be figuring out over the next couple of weeks. But big props to Circus. They have that staff behind them to help them out. They have a lot of flexibility, and they made these maps close. 9-13, 13-11, no washes whatsoever, and really BBP. They had to work for it here, Quack.
They really did. This could have gone to an overtime, possibly. I mean, we had that near comeback from Circus on the first map, and now on this one, they made it so challenging. This wasn't their map pick, and I kind of expected them not to know what to do, but they showed that they knew exactly how to adapt around things. They knew exactly how to catch certain players off. I mean, how many rounds did we see Six King on such an incredible lurk in that first half?
There were so many moments where the Chamber put on the pressure early on, but Bikini Bottom Frat House, they were unshaken, and we can see it here in the bracket. We have our 2 representatives from the MYSG side. It's Lays coming on in. Truth be told, no surprise to the both of us. I personally think Lays is the 3rd best team right now in the MYSG scene, just right behind Bleed and Paper Rex, obviously. And it really just goes to show we're getting some of the best to not only perform here in Clash of Nations, but to put their names forward. Bikini Bomb, Frat House, eyes are going to be on them onto the December showdown. And, well, what a first qualifier we've had here, Quack. Already things are kicking off well here at Clash of Nations.
I mean, this is just the qualifying stage. You know, we still have the playoffs. We have yet to see that. And if this is the quality that we get to enjoy, we get to be entertained by, I mean, you just have to imagine what we get to see in playoffs, especially when the other nations come into play.
Yeah, and I'm looking into a bit of our calendar. I believe next week, that's IDPH and Thailand and Vietnam. Later on, we're going to get HK Taiwan, and all of the top 2 teams of each qualifier. They're going to be meeting each other in the showdown all the way till in December. So we're here for a long haul, guys. We're going to have some incredible weeks here in the off season, and the Clash of Nations will keep clashing, will keep fighting, and keep giving us these amazing games. But for now, it's time for us to sign on out. It's great to be with you here, buddy. I've had a great time watching this amazing series so far. And till next week, we'll see you guys then. That's your Crap. This has been ESL Clash of Nations SCA. First qualifier already. More to come in the future. See ya.
Cause I'm a